Looks like the former royal known as Meghan Markle, that's right, the Duchess of Sussex. We won't give her the other title, chums. Right, well, apparently, yes, it looks like a case of don't you dare. And this is a very, very serious topic. As ever, let me explain. Hi, lovely to see you on a lovely sunny day here in the very heart of beautiful Hyde Park. Can you see all of that there? Isn't it just gorgeous? Somebody said to me the other day, is this green screen again? You know, you do kind of think, look, can't you tell? I mean, you do look away and think to yourself, at which bit do you think this is green screen? Just lovely, isn't it? You see there? Yeah, I know. I know, this is the thing. Spring is coming. Nice. I know. It's lovely to share these things with you. And, you know, as I said, wherever you are in the world, do take care of yourselves. I know not everywhere is going through a very easy time. It's not easy, is it, in the world? And do you think as well, chums, that because everything's shrunken, we get sort of like news that we'd never heard of, you know, particularly if you're a little bit older. When you were growing up and I was growing up, you didn't have that sort of news, but all the bad stuff comes around because it's all there at your fingertips, isn't it? Yeah, it's a bit like this, of course, for Meghan Markle. The bad news keeps on coming, you know. As we know, she's now back once again. Gosh, she's like a Duracell bunny, isn't she? She won't let up. She's back with her podcast now, Foundations, all that sort of stuff, or whatever, Founders or something, you know. And again, you know, I do sort of think the potential there could work. I mean, who knows, you know, you can't be all negative and you have to think, well, maybe, but I just don't see Meghan being interested enough in somebody else long enough to be able to make it work. I think that I've been told as well that they're going to get an excellent producer on board to make sure the cuts make Meghan look in her very best advantage. Once you're going down that route, you might as well just get somebody who's actually interested. But according to a source, you see, the ideas that Meghan put forward were this: one that's actually litigiously very, very dangerous. Let me explain. You see, as we all know, Meghan famously got fired from a mega deal with Spotify, right? And Spotify is the biggest, if you like, at the moment, along with Audible, I suppose, the biggest sort of podcasting thing. It's the explosion, you know, of podcasts. I don't know, I've said this before, but you and I remember audio books that you borrowed from the library. To me, it's the same thing. I'm not really keen on listening to people on podcasts because, or watching them, should I say, it's just two big fat microphones in front of people and I get bored really easily. And everybody copies the same format. Hence the reason I like to be out and about for you here. You see, seriously, it's a nice change of scenery, isn't it? That's the whole point. But here's where it gets interesting. Spotify, as you know, were less than gracious when Meghan, well, basically upshipped and didn't deliver what, in fact, they'd asked for. I mean, when you think it was a paltry sort of level of things, wasn't it, with not many big names, and they had a long time to work on this. This is the thing I don't understand. You know, if you're going to get paid that much money, you have to put the effort in. And it's a big problem, you know, a huge problem, because once you sign these deals, it's all lovely with the handshakes in the office and it was going to be terrific. Now the hard work starts. Clearly Meghan didn't want to do it. There were stories that producers sat in and asked the questions and, you know, then she dubbed her answers in. And you just kind of think, oh, put some effort in, sister. But behind the scenes, apparently, this new one, she wanted to sort of talk about the trials and tribulations of that. Not in a negative way as such, but to sort of say she was a novice at it and how she didn't understand this particular world. As an actress, she'd always come from this and this was presented to her, etc., etc. You get the picture. Now, this is very dangerous and litigious territory because, of course, if Spotify come back and say, well, this is what really happened, then you got a problem. And as we know, Spotify decided to call Meghan Markle that word grifters. So, of course, tactfully trying to remove her away from this idea has been very difficult. And as ever, we have to say allegedly. But when you think about it, you know, the highlight really is, yes, there is a story there. And yes, it could be presented in the very best way. But for Meghan, of course, it's never presented in that way because she's always got to be the victim. They have the tapes, they have the receipts, they have the story. And even her new company know, without a shadow of a doubt, that if you go down this route, it's a very dangerous route. And when you're trying to start out again, literally with nothing, trying to win over an audience, why remind the audience that you're a failure the first time around? You get the picture. Neil Sean, Hyde Park, London.